All right, here we go. Okay, so let's talk about the North Carolina Digital Leader competencies or learning competencies. There we go. If I can say it right. So yeah, what do you think?
Okay, I could jump out there, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the discussion that we did. I've been so moving on. Well, if I could remember, I believe the one that I said that I was most comfortable with was starting out with the copyrights and protection over the using the internet and things like that. That was the one that stuck with me because the school had already had some sort of protocol or regulations. We had these at the beginning of the year, the parents had to sign contracts and things and go over these, type of trying to find my words, but teaching the students how to be responsible on the internet and stuff like that. Good. So that was the one that kind of jumped out to me.
Yeah.
And as I was reading somebody else's paper, I think the one they were talking about using different programs like for reading for kids and things like that, or assessments and things like that. So I didn't mention that, but yes, I am trying. We've already been working with things like that as far as reading A to Z online, using ReadWorks and things, and trying to find, Epic and different things to try to help the students there. So
good.
So as far as those, yeah, I mean, it's definitely helpful.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great.
Sorry, I'm gonna pull up my discussion forum.
No, you're good.
No, that was a good idea. I should have did that too. I'm trying to think of it on top of my head.
I always have those bullet points. I'm like, oh man, what was that? I don't even remember what I'm talking about. It's great.
I mean, while she's getting that though, I mean that the whole part about the frameworks not really showing you how to do things, like it gives you an idea of what could be in the big utopian area of this, but at the same time, you really don't know how to get there, because it's a new experience, especially for those of us who are used to the classroom. And like I feel like in the classroom, I could do my thing, I can show my kind of perform and all that other good stuff. So, but what happened to add all this technology, it's something totally different. It's a challenge.
Well, and I think a big part of what when we are looking at these standards and like thinking about like, well, how do I meet this? And how do I assess other people in this as an administrator? Like, I'm not an administrator, but if I were, like, a lot of times I see like administrators walking into classrooms and like, okay, well, did they turn on the computer? Well, we're gonna check off that check box and we're good to go. We're going to do the next thing. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. We're not, how are we evaluating whether we are really, and this comes from the McLeod text, how are we really harnessing technology for deeper learning? Like, what are we doing? I mean, like, a worksheet on a computer is still a worksheet.
That's
like, it's just because it's not a computer, we're not innovating. We're not like, we're not hitting those components that you see, and like you were saying, it's like, what does this look like in practice? What does this look like as how do I do this? Like, how do I evaluate myself? How am I reflective? Because I'm big on, we're all professionals. Like, we're all going to do our job. So how can I be reflective in my own learning and development to where I'm pushing myself forward to address these issues without having an administrator come in and being like, well, I'm going to evaluate you. Because most of the time, I mean, like, unless you are doing something wrong in many capacities, unless you're like just way off base as an educator, there really isn't a lot, unless you're evaluated in some sort of standard-based grading to where they can say, well, you're not meeting these scores, blah, blah, blah. But how do we as educators say, like, well, how can I improve? How can I address these things? And that's kind of where I like to see, like, this technology discussion is like, how can I look at what I do and see ways of improving what I do without an administrator coming in and being like, because an administrator is not going to come in and be like, well, have you tried, you need to be using this app or blah, blah, blah. You're really going to be, it's really kind of intrinsic motivation to want to better the opportunities for my students through technology. Which is kind of the way I think about like 21st century learning and like educational technology in general, is like, how do I enhance learning for my classroom using these tools?
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm gonna let dang it, Powell, is that right?
Yes, yes.
Good. I'm not gonna get it wrong probably anymore. I will try. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
On my discussion forum, I chose to focus on the digital content and instruction, and then I focused on the second and the fifth subset on there. The second one was to lead all students in becoming active participants in setting educational goals, managing learning, and assessing their progress through digital tools. And then the fifth one was evaluating and appropriately modifying the physical learning environment to create a conducive digital learning environment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that just reflects back on, because when the school opened back up, we waited a whole week before we were told if we still had a job or not. And we were placed in daycare. So it's open for students to come there. And we have a lot of parents that expects for us to watch their child throughout the day, have all their Zoom meetings done, and all their assignments done before they come pick their kids up. So we had a few parents that flipped out when they came and their child had nothing done, or they didn't get everything done. And then it doesn't help because when they go home, they come back, nothing is done either. And I feel that, it's hard. We keep those kids in daycare, and the learning environment, if there's so many of them in one room, it's hard. And with COVID, we have to follow the protocols. So we can't have kids mixed together in a certain group. And with that, there's certain TAs that don't want to help. And so we don't have enough staff to support those kids.
Yeah, so how many do you have?
Right now we are up to, I believe it's 46.
And all different.
Yes.
Different.
So they're ranging from pre-K through 6th grade.
How do you even...
So for
you have to have an instructor who is like everything. Like that knows everything. Like, because how can you?
So it's kind of chaotic because like the younger kids, they are on iPads. Like it depends on what the school gives them. So like for the school that I work at, we give iPads, and then there's 2 other schools that their kids come there, and some of them gives out Chromebooks and some gives out MacBooks. So we have to learn how to facilitate and use those technology.
A tech guru. You just became the tech genius, the genius bar. That's what you are.
Yeah, so I have to play with the iPad for kindergarten kids, and we have to get that done. And then in between, so I have them all sitting in the room like 6 feet apart, and we have to give them headphones with the microphone so they can talk to and interact with their teacher.
So your teacher's so they have to meet with their teacher. So when you got if you got 42 kids all talking individually, I bet it's just chaos.
Well, it's chaotic. So they all of them don't have Zoom at the same time, which is not helpful either, because of course we have those that starts at 8, and then we have the ones that don't start till 2:30. So we have to keep a schedule, and we have to make sure they get on Zoom on time. So it's just,
and y'all need like an administrative assistant. Like you need a secretary just in there just keeping schedules of students, like not even learning. This is just like keeping track of who needs to be where when.
Yeah, and that is chaotic because we have to serve breakfast, we have to do lunch, and then we give them snack.
It's just how so to address that standard, how can you even do that? I mean, like, how do you, that's conducive to, let me look at it, digital learning environment. That's not even, I mean, I can evaluate, but I don't know how you appropriately modify at this point.
Yeah.
Like, you're just trying to keep people sane. Mostly.
Yes.
Wow. Sorry. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. That you would have kids. I mean, not only do you have, I mean, it would be a little bit more sustainable if you had things across the board for a grade level, but you've got K through or pre-K through 6th grade. So
yes.
like you have to be a content specialist across the board. You've got to be a technology specialist across the board. You have to be a data manager. You've got to be a schedule keeper. I mean, and you got to keep them all healthy and making sure they're wearing masks and doing all the other stuff.
Yeah. And at the same time, we have to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing on the digital device.
Or then you got to make sure that they're actually doing what they're individually.
Yes.
There's just no way. I mean,
it's chaotic. So I had one kid that was on Zoom and she decides to put her blanket over her MacBook. So I'm like, you can't do that. Like they need to see you. She was defiant. So I'm like, okay, well, we'll leave you at that.
Then you got to deal with behavior. Oh,
yes.
Man. That is crazy. That is crazy.
It is.
But it's kind of like, so you got to work with what you're given. I get that. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, okay, from an administrative perspective, I'm like, someone made this decision. Like,
yes.
In leadership to say, just give them the tech. I mean, like, give them the tools. They'll be fine. We'll put someone in there to kind of monitor them and everything will be fine. I mean, that's kind of the way I feel the perspective is that I'm like, you've got individuals who, they see these very topical implementation strategies and that there's not deeper learning going on. There's just, we need to address this issue as quickly and easily as possible. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to open up this room. We'll put all these students in here, give them technology, feed them, keep them 6 feet apart. We're done. It's like we're forgetting about educating, right? Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I feel. I feel like we are not, we kind of forgotten the goal here, which is to educate, which is to, to create, just like you were saying, that standard of creating an environment that is conducive for digital learning. It's like, okay, this clearly is not. I mean, it's just how could it be? I mean, I know we're recording this, so I'm probably like I'm scrutinizing this way too much. But man, I don't even know. I feel like this is not. We're in the news and the discussions. We don't talk about what Jeremy, what you're saying you're going through, and Powell, what you say you're going through. Like, this is not even being discussed. Like, what's actually going on with educating students? Like, we're just trying to talk about like whether students should go back to school or whether they should be online. It's not about what does the learning actually look like? What are we doing to educate students in these courses right now? And that's a real problem. Is that we're not having, like, we're just trying to keep kids, and I get it. I mean, we're trying to keep kids alive. We're trying to keep parents working and things like that. But somebody's got to be focusing on, just like you were saying, the environment for learning. Like, what is the environment for learning, as opposed to just putting all these kids in a room? I mean, so how many teachers, is it just you, or how many people are in there?
Right now we have, I think there's 5 or 6 of us, and then there's the ratio to it. So, like, let's say if somebody tested positive for COVID, those kids have to be quarantined in like a separate room. They cannot be mixed, and then whoever is with them has to stay with them only. So that's going to affect the working hours. Like, you're going to be like very like overtime.
Well, and what do you do? I mean, there's nothing you could do. I mean, there's no. They're just like, you do what you have to do. That's what it is.
Yes, unless there's like an outbreak and all those kids, or they have it, and everybody has to be quarantined.
Wow. I mean, I try and come up with some sort of rebuttal, and I'm trying to understand it. I'm trying to understand the decisions that are being made.
Yes, and that's a problem when school starts back. Like, we don't have enough rooms to quarantine kids all over the building. And for those who ride the bus, they're in that same...
You're not 6 feet apart on a bus? There's no ventilators on a bus? Give me a break.
Windows. So I don't know how that's going to work.
Are they going to open the windows? Yeah.
Yes, going to open the windows. All the kids in the same family are going to ride and be seated together. if they have to make extra loads.
Anybody who's ever been a bus driver needs to chime in on this stuff and be like, are you kidding? Are you right? Are you okay? Then chime in. Come on. I mean, what?
Listen, that's impossible, my friend.
Impossible.
It's impossible. I mean, to even think with all the responsibilities of being a bus driver,
just staying on the safety road, I can imagine with all the kids would be like, that thing's hard to drive.
Exactly. Listen. I'm trying to tell you, the decision making that's going on right now with this is unbelievable. Like sometimes,
like to me, and I didn't mean to interrupt. Continue.
No. You're good. I mean, like I said, I just feel like maybe they take a bowl and shift things around and dig in and just grab something and say, hey, let's do this. I mean, it really does seem like somebody's just really like not thinking.
Well, I feel like what's happening is that you were told as a leader, your funding is impacted whether your school is open or not. If you're online, your funding is impacted. And from a leader, like, if I don't have money, I can't hire teachers. I can't do school improvements. I can't get the technology I need to do the job that I need to do. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to open this building up, despite the fact that it's just impossible. It's just without putting people at risk.
Exactly.
And so we're trying to mitigate those risks as much as possible.
I mean, my thing is, why not? Okay. I mean, I know we all have our own thoughts, but we've already started this remote learning at home thing. You know, why not, like you said, let it go to January or something like that. Let everybody kind of get in the groove with it.
Get a handle on it.
You get a handle on it because, maybe we can finally figure out, okay, this can work. And we're not, but I feel like, okay, they throw everything on you. Go do this right quick. Oh, wait a minute. By the way, we need to get back to school right quick. So get back to school, forget all the stuff you just did. I don't spent money in boosting my internet here and buying all these things to have remote learning at home. I'm set up. I'm good. I'm getting better. It's still an adjustment.
You're growing. I mean, I'm
growing.
Thing. Yeah.
Exactly. So now we're going to scratch that. We're going to go to the school, okay, and say, forget the fact that I was at home growing. Forget that. We're going to go back to the school and then rearrange everything in the school for something that's not going to work. I cannot imagine trying to keep students 6 feet apart all day, keep your mask on all day. You know what I'm saying? Oh, wait a minute, you're sick. Okay, well, go over there. Wait a minute, hold on. I still got a child. I got to come home too. I don't want my child sick. You know what I mean? So
nobody wants that. I mean, geez. Well, yeah. I mean, what I had thought, and I mean, we're seeing this 20%, 30% maybe, is what I thought was when this all kind of happened, that you begin to see a shift in the way that we've done education for so long, which is 9 to 5 or 9 to 4, whatever, sit down, an hour in this class, go to your next class, an hour in that class, blah, 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 shift around, blah, blah, blah. The same way that education has been done for 150 years. Ever since we've had this model of K-12. And I thought, now we see a shifting landscape. Now we're going to see technology begin to do what it should be doing. And now we're still trying to be like, there are these individuals who are still in that old mindset of like, well, we can't, we've got to do it that way, exactly that way, because there's no other way we can do it.
Yep.
And I'm like, really? Like, really? If there's any time when we should begin to, and you see organizations, they've had to shift their mindset. Like they've had to be like, you know what? Our workers can do their work from home and they can do, if not a better job. And I mean,
yep.
But it does take that conversation of having those conversations with educators to be like, look, here's what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. And here's how we're going to continue to evaluate, grow in this area, as opposed to saying, well, we just took a slight detour, we're going to come back. I mean, what? I mean, help me understand that. I just don't, I mean, like, I really just, I mean, it's kind of like, it's like the post office now. Like the post office has become this situation where it's like, okay, we're realizing that what we are doing is not working. So we're going to try and just come back to it. But we're not like, okay, well, how can we innovate? How can we've had a disruption. Now we have to change. And people are like, well, we don't really need to change. We just need to go back and do what we were doing. It's like, well, no, we're spending a ton of money. We were doing this thing. I don't know. I think that it's a really great time to be an educator, but I really hope we see more districts, and instead of these like districts of innovation that there are a lot of, which, I need to send you all a link to that. That'd be great. It would be a great opportunity for you all to see, like, what are the districts that are being innovative and how are they approaching this situation? Like,
yeah, I would appreciate that.
What are they doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how are they, like, these public institutions that are taking, and they thought outside of the box before all this was happening. How are they making this work? And I think that would be a great opportunity, but I'm just I love, Pal, that you brought up that perspective of like, creating an environment that's conducive to learning in a digital space, and we're still trying to like fit it within that mold of like, that's
so like right now we're in between of, okay, the kids are going to come, we're going to keep them 6 feet apart, but when they're in the car rider line, they're not going to be 6 feet apart. So that's another thing. Like, I know I'm ranting right now, but
that's what we need to do. I mean, we need to be discussing these issues.
We do, and I don't mean to jump in. Yes, we do. Thank you for sharing, Pal, because we do. We need a moment to just get it off our chest. So
who else are we going to talk to about it, right?
Exactly.
And like our bus drivers, when the kids come to their last in-class day, because they're given free lunch, parents have to sign the form to get the free lunch. The bus drivers have to have boxes on the bus and hand them their food to feed them on days that they're not in the building. That's other things that are on top of it.
It seems like there are going to be so many variables at some point where we just start looking at the equation and being like, one of these variables, if it gets thrown off, the whole equation's messed up. And that's like, we're just trying to continue to work within the space that the space is saying to us that we need change. We need change.
Yeah.
It's time for change. The thing is, we've needed change since like the 1980s. Like, we've needed change for a long time. And this is just beginning to address that in a very different way. But it's kind of like we now have the reason and the capacity to change. And yet we're still kind of seeing, and there are some that aren't. There are some districts that are really stepping up and be like, you know what, we're going to do this and we're going to find ways of doing it better. But man, when I hear stories like, well, y'all, it's the computer 12 hours a day. It's the putting the kids in the classroom. You can't differentiate. It's just, it's so crazy. Well, okay. I'm sorry. I know we went on that for a few minutes there, but anything else? So I wanted to talk to you. Okay. So I want to stay on point here. Which I don't even know if I stayed on point at all. I think we're going in great places. Let me pull up our the agenda here, which 45 minutes in, I finally look at the agenda, which is about right. That's usually how it goes. So I want to talk about the digital citizenship plan. So if you'll go on to, you don't have to go on there right now, but what you're going to be generating for your website. How did the website generation go? Were y'all able to kind of hit that? Was that okay?
Yeah, I was going to ask you some questions while I was here.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm still in the process of putting it together. So this website that we are putting together, it's going to be out there for the world to see, right?
Well, you can send me the private. I don't know if you can make it to where you can send me a screenshot.
Okay.
You make it private and just send me a screenshot of what you got.
Okay.
If you're like, I don't feel comfortable putting this out there right now. I want to make sure it's all fine tuned. All I really want right now is, let me see if I can actually send you mine. Mine is not great. I need to.
That's okay. We'll appreciate it.
Let me see if I can find it here. I think mine's a Wix site. Okay. All right. Okay. So here's mine. Oh, disrupt. Oh, this is so perfect. Oh my gosh. I just retweeted this guy a few days ago. He said, disruptive events produce innovations. Innovations make things better. We must see beyond the intervening events to find the attractive alternatives. We all want things to return to normal, but the truth is a better normal is available. Let's find it.
Love it. Love it.
So
I don't know who
good.
he is, but love that.
That is so good. It's the first one that's on my website because I got my Twitter feed that pops up there. Here's my website, and you can kind of take a look. This is Wix, and it's free. But that's my professional one, and you can see like I've got tabs for like here's my Vita, here's my here's things that I've been in the news for, and here's my schedule. So you can it actually links to my Google Calendar, which I probably should take off because people are gonna be like, oh, I know where he is exactly this moment in time. I'm gonna go break into his house. But it's got like a whole lot of different. It's got links. It actually has my cell phone on there, which I need to probably get rid of. But that's kind of the expectations. Like, okay, just create some tabs that have, here are the different projects we're gonna be working on. Here's the About Me project that you made. Just plop that in there under that About Me tab, or I can't remember the exact name of the tab that I called it, but and then you can take a screenshot, share with me just to say, I've generated the tabs. I'm ready to upload content once we've generated it, and then we can go from there.
Okay. Now, because I did something like this, and I just wanted to ask, because we've dealt with creating a website with Google, Google Sites, I think it was.
Yeah.
Okay, is that acceptable?
Sure.
Okay, because I know how to navigate that at least a little bit. So,
no, that's fine. I mean, whatever you want to use.
Perfect. Okay.
No,
Perfect.
man. Again, we don't have to recreate the car. You got a car that's working, man. You just change that up, and we'll change the tire and get rolling on that thing. That's completely fine. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. If you've already got a website that you already have some of that on, and you just want to make those tabs, or you have a website content builder or a website generator that you like.
Okay.
I like Wix, Weebly, Blogspot, WordPress. I'm trying to think of any other ones. I really haven't used Google Sites too much. But yeah, that's completely fine. If you want to use it through that, by all means.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Al, do you have any questions about that? Or are you good?
I'm good. I wish I would have known I didn't have to publish it, but I did already. So it's.
Oh, you published it? Well, good. Hey, and here's one of my favorite things about Scott McCloud. He really promotes peer review, right? He creates putting your things out there for the world to see. Why? Because it may be something that people really need to hear or see. And if we continue to kind of like close the doors on, what's somebody going to think about it? I mean, you can probably look, I don't know. Oh, geez. I had articles on here that I'd written. Like I do hold on. Let me show you. I got this. I'm everywhere right now. So I asked the local newspaper. I was like, I get with a group of friends. We have a group called Nerd Coffee that meets every Wednesday. And I was like, I've got a lot of ideas about innovation and problem solving and perseverance and passion and drive. And I was like, can I write an article once a week and, share it out with the community? And the newspaper's like, yeah, sure, why not? So they publish this every week. Hold on. No, it's not in that one. I bet my son did it. He plays the Sudoku and he grabs my newspaper articles all the time. Oh, here it is. Right. So I actually have an article that's published once a week, and I don't even know who reads the newspaper anymore, but that's like my old school picture there. I don't even know. But like, I'm like, get things out there, get people talking, So I know it's kind of like scary to put your crap out, or not crap, sorry, put your stuff out there, right? And sometimes my stuff is crap when I write sometimes, and I'm like, oh, should I put that out there or not? Just put your thoughts out there and to get people thinking about it, and like that authentic engagement with the public to where they can give you feedback and be like, I never thought of that. And it just generates more ideas. It helps you grow. Plus for students, like, man, I wish students could get their stuff out there more often just to share their opinions. Because we live in just this like, the only people who see your work is your instructor in the classroom. Mm-hmm. And that's so frustrating because like, who knows what your work could do in the public. And so I actually have what I do with my students in my chem class is they actually have to create a unit where they take a piece of technology and they have to, I have leaders from the local pharmaceutical company come in and they have to evaluate whether this piece of technology would help their employees learn basic chemistry or not. Mm. So it's real authentic. Like they're like, you have to learn enough basic chemistry to convince a pharmaceutical company that what you're going to teach their baseline chemist to make sure that they have a remediation for intro chemical principles, that it is adequate to do that. So you really got to know your stuff, right? And you're going to get questions from these people who have been doing this for 20 years. And so they really have, I mean, they have to be on point. But I love getting stuff out there in the public. And man, there have been many times I put stuff out there and people are like, this is rough, man. This is rough. But that peer review is just, it's fantastic. Sorry, I don't mean to get I'm so soapboxy. I'll go and I just put in the chat like, hey, stop. My wife is really great for that because she'll put her hand on my shoulder and be like, well, it's enough now. But she's not here at the moment, so we'll be fine. Any other questions? Oh, let's talk about digital citizenship. So the Digital Citizenship Project, you're going to work in a group of 2. Mm-hmm. And you're going to create this digital citizenship presentation that you will give to your administration. And let me look at the syllabus here to remember the requirements. Digital citizenship page in our digital citizenship plan. So you're going to use Google Docs. Student-led groups will plan an event for various school stakeholders, students, teachers, parents, administrators, community members that engages everyone in the awareness of cyber safety and digital citizenship. This project is only to create a plan for an event, but should be created so that implementation of the plan would be possible if students have future opportunities to do so. All groups will present their projects to the class. So we will do that. Wow, I popped back in and you would change colors. I'm like, what in the world? That was so cool. How'd you do that? That's great. So what we're going to do with that is you will present, like you'll come up with this plan. You'll look at the standards for digital citizenship and you'll come up with a presentation to give to your stakeholders. So you will meet face-to-face, Skype, FaceTime with group in order to plan in between class meetings, use common sense education to identify an internet safety topic for your group's choice, use Web 2.0 tools for your group's choice, publish the main components of your plan. What is the topic? What are the intended stakeholders? Rationale for your topics and how it's relevant for your intended audience, a summation of the resources of human and monetary that's needed for the event, a proposal for acquisition of resources, identifying the needs and anticipated outcomes as a result of the event, list of standards completed by the project, NC professional teacher standards and ISTE standards must be included, minutes of each out-of-class meeting conducted for the project, a minimum of 2 30-minute meetings required online, present the project in class, use APA citation in everything you do, obviously. Complete a rubric of responsibility and accountability for yourself and your teammates. This will be your reflection of your work ethics, successes, and difficulties experienced in your group's work experience. So what I'll do is put people in group 2. I'll send that out this week. We'll probably do like 2 weeks from now where we'll do those presentations. So not this coming Saturday, not a week from now, but a week after that. And then we'll present those digital citizenship plans in the class. And we can even, I don't know, I'm not having a ton of interaction on Flipgrid, so I'm not sure how great it's going to work. I was hoping more people would kind of chime in on it, so it might just be better just to meet in person. I understand that, but I don't know where the rest of your classmates are, so with the last 3 minutes we have here, we'll hopefully get more people chiming in here. Any questions about Digital Citizenship Project or anything, any questions about class in general? Things going on this week. Let's talk about that real quick. Sorry, any other questions before I talk about what's going on this week? Sorry, I'll shut up.
No, keep going. For me, I don't know if you have a question, Paul, but no, for me, I'm good. I'm, just trying to take it one step at a time.
Good.
So this is good that at least I have an insight of what's coming. So that,
yeah.
Kind of get my mind prepared. So, so far, so good for me.
Good.
So you are pairing us up, correct? We're not choosing who we want to be with?
No, you're going to, Pao and Jeremy, you guys are together right now because you're
okay
right now. So why don't y'all, since y'all are in here, why don't y'all, I'll pair you up and then I'll pair up. I'm probably going to have, I don't know how many I actually have in the class. I think we're sitting at 7 or 8. If I have an uneven number, I'll put a group of 3 together, but we'll do groups of 2 until I get to a group of 3 and then we'll go from there. Other things due this week. Let's see. Okay, week 5 agenda. So we're going to do chapter 2 of the harnessing tools for deeper learning. So the blog post this week will be on chapter 2. So kind of, read that, get your thoughts on chapter 2. That will be our discussion board post for this week. Unit 4 certification. How's the Google certification going? Pretty good?
Yes, yep. Yep. Still moving along. Yep.
I'm still trying to take the exam. I registered for the exam in July and something happened. I don't know why. I've emailed and tried to get a hold of the guy. So hopefully y'all won't have as many issues with, because someone registered for the exam, they got in the next day. I'm still waiting for my registration. So I'm still trying to take it. So as soon as I get on, I might just have to re-register and just do it all over again. I don't know what in the world happened. Yeah. So unit 4. Okay, so unit 4 certification is due Wednesday, and again, just do a screenshot of that. And let's see, we'll just do the digital citizenship. I'll put this on Sunday. How do y'all feel about that? Are y'all okay 2 weeks from now, or do you feel like you need more time? I mean, you got a lot going on, so I just kind of want to see where we're at.
Ooh,
I'm open to conversation.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I mean, I appreciated that you had said it would be at least 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you needed more time, I can understand. You know, but I did appreciate that we didn't have to do it like next week.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's you know, what do you think?
I am fine with it. If it's 2 weeks, you know, we're responsible adults. We can get it done.
Well, and if you get into it and you're like, yeah, this is
yes.
tight. I'm like, I'm working 12 hours a day. I mean, I'm not going to put, I know you're reading a text, you're doing a discussion board. I know that's normal, like what we do. And I'm asking people to participate on Flipgrid as much as possible. So I get that, like, you got a lot on your plate right now, so I don't want to do anything that's going to overwhelm. I also want to give people time who haven't been here to watch this video and update everything. So, you know, if there's any questions there. So we'll shoot for the 27th, 2 weeks, 27. What next Saturday is the 26th. We'll shoot for the 26th to have those, to have that presentation together. If I get a lot of feedback from people that's like, or from you all, and you're like, hey, we met for 30 minutes online. We were able to meet twice, but we really haven't generated what we want yet. We can push it, you know, forward a week or 2 weeks, whatever we need to do to where you can have I want a quality product. So I want to give you enough time to really, where you can work on that. So let's shoot for 2 Saturdays, and hopefully we'll get everybody in class next Saturday. And we can get some more, you know, fine tuning about what the expectations are and what everybody's going to be doing. And then people could even like schedule a time outside of class to kind of meet and exchange information so that we know everything. Okay, cool. It's 11:01, technically 1 minute past time that I normally want to do these for. Any other questions about anything?
Are we interacting on Zoom and on Flipgrid, or is it just one or the other?
Well, the Flipgrid stuff is like, if you're not in class on Saturday, I want you. Yeah, like for last week, we couldn't be together on we couldn't be together in person. I was moving. There was no way I was going to be able to do class. I mean, you can see, like, this is my crazy. Those 7 children outside of my home was my situation. So we were moving in last week, but what I'd like to do is, if people can't be here on Saturday, I want them to go and watch the Flipgrid and respond to what we were talking about. Like, you know, what were their thoughts on this situation relating to, you know, school cult, you know, this cultivating learning environments. Like, I want them to be able to give some feedback and get all the resources. So it's there for that, but it's also there to create continued discussion around the ed tech tools that you find out about. Like, this is so cool. Like, this thing I found at Target, and it's a pencil holder, but it's like really rubbery, and it's super, like, you can flatten it and put it in anything. And I found it at Target. It's like $4. It's a piece of technology, right? I mean, I don't know. Like, I love crap like that. I mean, give me resources that I can use. And my favorite pens, by the way, I don't know if you've used, these are I might have talked about this before, but like, I love these pens. They're Jetstream. You can only get them at Target or Staples. But I mean, I go through these things like crazy. If somebody gives me another pen, I throw it away. I don't use it. It's garbage. It's garbage. But like stuff like that, like little resources like that, I'll just throw on Flipgrid. And then if anybody else has a tech tool, again, I think I said this before, shame on you if you don't share it with me, because I'm going to share everything with you.
Gotcha.
So if you find a tool that you're like, hey, this is really nice, and you don't share it with me, I'm gonna get really irritated because I'm like, man, I love these things. Like, there's just so many cool things out there nowadays that, man, I don't even. I can look around my room. We just moved, so all my tech tools are like this game. Like one more, and then I'll leave you alone. Probably. But like, it's a periodic table board game.
Wow.
Like,
yeah.
holy crap! Somebody sent that to me the other day, and I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. I can teach my kids about like atomic radius and electronegativity with playing a stinking game. And you can see I haven't opened it yet, but like, that's technology, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's just so. I mean, I could. Oh, geez. I just love like little tools that make life easier. Just a little innovation. It doesn't even have to be a lot, but just like things that you find, like you're looking around your room and like, hey, I use this every day. Like we should. I should share this with people. That's what I want to see on Flipgrid. It's like just a 1 minute. Here's a snippet of a tool that I like right now. Like, I don't know, like your mouse. Like that's a piece of technology. I don't use that mouse that you have on your desk. You use it for some reason. Why do you use that?
Wireless.
I mean, like it's probably you see a benefit of that, and so I'd love to know about that. Like I just love like cool tools that make life easier. Oh, here, hold on. Where's the last one? Oh. Like, I found a periodic table face mask. Like, it's like, it's geeky. I'm nerding out like crazy, but geez, I love that stuff. Or even articles like that talk about technology that share a resource that people it just makes their job. You do a better job. You build more quality. It's like your tool belt of an educator. Like you just put another tool in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the Flipgrid's for. Did that answer your question?
Yes. Can you email those links that you shared with us in the chat box?
I probably can.
Okay, because I'm on the iPad, so I'm not able to.
Oh, you want to email the links? Yeah. You know what I'll do? Here, I'm going to copy them right now. Copy. Okay, I'm going to put them on. I'm going to put them. I'll put them in an announcement. I'm going to do it right now because I will not remember unless I do it right now. I probably will remember, but I'm just going to create an announcement and be like, here's links for today's conversation. Okay, cool. So what else? Anything else?
No, so far so good. Pal, I'll probably, am I saying your name right?
Yes.
Okay, I'll email you. I'm gonna probably email you my phone number. It's probably best to get me that way. Text me or something, because so much is going on. So at least if I see that you text me, I know. Wait a minute, I gotta stop and do something. So, all right, so I'll email it to you.
Okay.
Got it.
Don't forget to put your website link or a screenshot. Just let me know everything's kind of flowing really well with that by tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is that tomorrow night? Tomorrow night? Mm-hmm. Yeah, just put a link on there, just or put a screenshot. Just let me know you're kind of just putting that together, and keep doing what y'all are doing, man. Y'all are doing great work. Thank you for being educators in this crazy world. If there's no one else who thanks you, know that you have one person who's grateful for what you do, and that's right here. So be like, I do this for my ed tech instructor at Lees McRae. That's what I woke up for today to do. So if you need some sort of encouragement, just be like, hey, I know he's thankful for what I did today. If no one else, if you got a parent who just chews you out because their child didn't get their Zoom thing done or whatever, you just be like, you know what? I know that Professor Marsh appreciates what I did, so take that to heart. I hope you have a great day. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing fantastic. Thanks for being here on a Saturday and having a quick chat. But if you need anything, email me. I'm pretty accessible. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate that.
People, we will talk soon. I will see you next Saturday. If there's any reason you can't come, just chime in on the Flipgrid. And we'll go from there.
You got it.
All right, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for everything, you all.
Yeah, you too. We'll see you soon.
You got it.